In this situation, we have two changes that are impacting the market for e-bikes. One, increased fuel prices and environmental concerns have increased the number of people who want to use e-bikes. There's a change in people's preferences. Second, there's a global shortage of lithium, and the lithium is a key component in e-bike batteries. So how do these changes impact the equilibrium price and quantity for e-bikes? So here we've got our supply and demand situation for e-bikes. And if we look at the first change only, we're looking at increase in fuel prices and environmental concerns. So that impacts people who use e-bikes rather than people who sell e-bikes. So this is a demand shift. And so people who use e-bikes at a given price point, call it P1, at that price point, people are going to likely use e-bikes more. Alternatively, if you consider the environmental concerns, at this particular quantity, people might be willing to pay a little bit more. So it's either a rightward shift or an upward shift, the demand curve, depending on which way you want to look at it. This moves us along the supply curve to our new equilibrium Q2, with associated price P2. Now, in addition to that, we still have the global shortage of lithium. Now, that doesn't impact people who ride e-bikes so much as it impacts people who manufacture e-bikes. So, at a given price point, we're going to have fewer e-bikes to sell because it's going to be harder to get our hands on that lithium. Alternatively, at a given quantity, the price is likely to increase because it's going to be a little bit harder, a little bit more expensive to get our hands on lithium. All right, so we move here to S prime. We walk along our second demand curve to our new equilibrium here. I got to fit that in there. This will be Q3. And our associated price here is going to be P3. Okay. So our first demand shift moved our quantity up and our price up. That was a change. And if we're talking about the environmental concerns, that's change in preferences. Our second shift was the supply shift. In this shift, our price went up again. Our quantity went from Q2 back to Q3 to the left. So our quantity went down. This was a change in input costs. Now, overall, we've seen the price increase and then the price increase again. So the price will no doubt increase with both of those changes. The quantity, however, went up and then it went down. So depending on the size of those shifts, the quantity is going to be unknown. We need to know something about how large those shifts are. We need to know something about the slope of the curves. We need more information in this question to be able to determine exactly what happens to the quantity. using a simple model like this.